Hey folks, how you doing? This is the Greywolf with the 420 News, and today we're going to be covering some really cool stories. And I'm sorry it took so long to get this done, but uh, well, we got her done. So we hope to be getting the next edition out just as quickly as possible. You won't have to wait as long. All right. Well, without further ado, our first story. You're never going to believe this one. Ah, our well-informed and smart alecks that call themselves the D.A.R.E program have made the 420 News.
An anti-drug organization known as D.A.R.E, which includes police enforcement that go to certain public schools and convince kids or try to convince kids not to do drugs, also has a website where they publish articles about some of the harmful effects of drugs, including marijuana. Well, recently they posted an article titled, "Edible Marijuana Candies Kill 9 in Colorado, 12 at Coachella."
Really?
Huh! Fascinating. Now, they had some pretty interesting things in the article, including an anonymous source that said the following. "It is sad that in a country as developed as America, such third world drugs such as marijuana are allowed to exist. Children are being addicted to marijuana. I knew this day would come when a liberal president allowed a state to legally sell marijuana Flintstone vitamins to children." The article also said the following: "Marijuana, it is one of the most dangerous drugs on earth. For every one joint of marijuana, 4 teenagers become burdened with pregnancy." All right, so
I'm trying to figure out how that works. Like, okay, wait, you smoke a joint, then 4 chicks show up, and then you burden them.
you burden them real good. Okay, so
If
this
that's true, I'm going to light up right now.
So this is a ridiculous article, right? And we all know that it's not true. You don't have to be a rocket scientist or even an expert in marijuana to know that these are not facts. Well, they published it anyway, and their main source was actually a website known as Topic as News. And it turns out that it is a satirical website, kind of like The Onion.
Right.
So they not only fell for a satirical news story, they're also the same people that are supposed to educate kids about the harmful effects of drugs, and they have no idea what these drugs actually do.
Okay, so here's the deal. All these satire sites, they should all be banned. They're,
Thank you,
yes.
except for The Onion, because
Yes.
it's well established that
That's
The Onion
right.
is satire.
That's right. So we're pro-satire. Are we not merciful? We pardon you, Onion, and in fact enjoy your work. Everyone else, cut it out. Okay, you're annoying everybody. People think it's real. How are they supposed to know this site's not real? Now, having said that, D.A.R.E, come on, dude. Like, if you thought it was real, it's worse to put it up. First of all, third world drug. What is that?
What does that even
that?
mean?
What is that? Okay, that's some racialist
Of
stuff
course.
there, and you don't put that up. It's worse if you think it's real, right? And then to say, oh, we knew a liberal president would give out Flintstone vitamins with marijuana in it. What? Come on. It's supposed to be a nonpartisan group. This is total garbage. And then who read this and thought, oh, yeah, for everybody who smokes a joint, 4 teenagers get pregnant.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
I have to question your intelligence if you're going to put this up as something legitimate on your site.
It's like that old school meme that went on the internet a long time ago about how every time you masturbate, God kills 6 kittens.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you guys remember that?
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Sure.
Anyways, all right. Well, you're asking who would read
Dear
that.
kittens. Bad news.
So you're asking who would read that and believe it and regurgitate it on a website like this?
Right.
Well, I have that answer for you.
Okay.
The author of the story is Hayward Bynum III, whose other bylines include, "It is time for America to invade the Middle East and rename it New America. German soccer team uses Nazi super soldier serum to beat Brazil 7-1. Risks start of World War III, and are women even people, really?" Now, this is not the D.A.R.E person who wrote the article. This is the person who's written, like, other satirical articles, right? So, like, I don't know. You want to know who your source is. You want to look into it a little bit. And once you see an article titled, "Are women even people, really?" and you realize it's not an MRA website, then maybe it's time to not take it seriously.
Yeah. But look, this goes to a mindset of the anti-drug people. they've so convinced themselves of how evil drugs are that they'll go to any extreme and say preposterous things to get people to be against drugs, not smoke joints, make sure that it remains illegal. And these D.A.R.E guys, they come in, they scare the bejesus out of the kids,
Yes.
and then they leave. They leave no support behind. They don't continue to communicate with kids. And so I actually think they might be slightly counterproductive. I mean, human psychology being what it is, if you tell people like, oh, you think you're going to have a great time with marijuana, but it's dangerous, that you walk out and they're like, oh, really? I'm going to have a great time with marijuana? Let me try that out.
So the evidence definitely points to the direction that you're saying. Like, it doesn't work, it hasn't been successful, and D.A.R.E is trying to, like, redo their whole process so they have a longer-term conversation with kids about drugs. I don't know if that's going to be successful. But I will say from my experience, they did scare the hell out of me, and I didn't do drugs until I was in college.
So it worked
But that's
for
good.
a little while.
But that's good. I'm glad I didn't do drugs as a teenager.
Yeah. I was such an uber nerd that I didn't even drink because I heard that it kills brain cells. And I was like, my brain cells are so important. I must keep them intact. Okay. Later, I came to realize, no, they're not that important. It's okay.
But by far, my favorite story is our second story. I think you're all going to like it.
What's green and leafy covers this new planet, cures panic attacks, while simultaneously causing a snack pack attack. A new story hit social media claiming NASA announced they had discovered a planet that is completely covered with marijuana. The planet known as X637Z-43, who forever shall be named Planet Pot, was discovered using NASA's Kepler satellite and may be one of the few potentially habitable planets out there.
No way. No way.
Yes way, Ted!
And as always, I have some questions. Number 1, has science discovered plant life or the potential of any kind of life on other planets? Number 2, how will a planet covered in marijuana help the space program? Number 3, has the planet already sent alien life forms to Earth in a super secret plot to take over? Take me to your wheel. Number 1, according to the story, NASA experts had detected sufficient levels of oxygen and nitrogen to support not only plant life, but human life as well. In 2014, using the Kepler Space Telescope, astronomers discovered 715 new planets that orbit 305 stars, with 4 being Earth-like, but up to 2.5 times smaller. They did discover an Earth-sized planet that was orbiting a star in what they deem the habitable zone, which means it's in a range of distance from a star where liquid water may begin to pool on the surface of an orbiting planet. But according to Elisa Quintana of the SETI Institute at NASA's Ames Research Center in Moffett Field, California, we know of just one planet where life exists, Earth. When scientists search for life outside of our solar system, they're essentially trying to find planets whose characteristics mimic that of Earth. Number 2. In 2015, NASA's budgets towards spaceflight programs, as well as Earth science programs, were cut by over $500 million. NASA feels that the presence of pot on other planets might excite younger people and help to generate more interest in space exploration, which would mean more funding for space programs like NASA. And a quote. We always think young people aren't interested by anything, but it's false. Young people love smoking pot, explains David Carbonneau. He went on to say, chlorophyll concentration analysis generated by Kepler led us to believe that the level of THC in these marijuana plants is 3,000% higher than the plants found on Earth. If that doesn't motivate young people to explore space, I don't know what will. Number 3. In 2014, former Canadian Prime Minister Paul Hellyer stated in an interview on Russian TV that aliens are already here living with us, but won't share their advanced technologies, I quote, until we change our warring and polluting ways. Well, there you go. Aliens are peace-loving tree huggers. They're damn hippies. So, is this real or a hoax? Well, during my research, I did learn a couple of things. There really is a David Carbonneau, and he really is an astronomer at the Harvard Smithsonian Center for Astrophysics, and he does work on the Kepler mission. But I can't find not one reputable source for his quotes on Planet Pot. And there's at least one Earth-sized planet in the habitable zone, but only one planet that we know of that actually sustains life, and we currently live on it. Also, the websites that are reporting on the story contain discrepancies when cross-referencing with each other. They claim different names for the planet that was discovered and different results from the chlorophyll concentration analysis. And ultimately, the original site that announced the story posts this disclaimer at the top of their site. Unfortunately, for a large portion of the population that spends most of its time watching Adult Swim while consuming large amounts of pizza, this story is pure satire. For more Hoax Factor videos and... what was I talking about? Subscribe here.
So isn't that some great news, guys? Hey, makes me want a space shuttle. So, yeah, that's the 420 news for this edition, and we hope you've enjoyed it. Be sure to subscribe and like it and share it and all that. And until next time, this is Greywolf with the 420 News, signing off. Peace for now.